Warrior. Thief. Gladiator. Conqueror. Conan.
They said you would come. A man of great strength. The conqueror.
Let us take the world by the throat and make it give us what we desire.
You'll all drown in lakes of blood.
He's evil, a sorcerer who can summon demons.
Now they will know why they are afraid of the dark. Now they will learn why they fear the night.
Out of an age undreamed of comes the most incredible adventurer of all.
Daring! What outrageousness! What arrogance! I salute you.
Conan the Barbarian.
My mic were muted. Good job it told me. Little message came up there, just above, just there. Said, mic is muted. I'm a bleeding idiot. Right, hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire Geek. There is audio now, I hope. Is there audio now? There should be audio now. Just let me double check. It's always summit with these bloody shows. Shut up, noisy bugger. Yes, there is. Right, we're audio now. We're fine now. Win Grace. Snazzy intro. Thank you. Thank you. I thought I'd do something else. Oh, there always is massive feedback. There always is the first few seconds. There always is with screen. What do they call it? StreamYard. There's always big feedback. But anyway, welcome to the Monday Moan. This week we're doing Conan the Barbarian. It's a film I don't really like. I've watched it today for the first time in one sitting all the way through. Sort of. I got distracted part way through and I ended up trying to fix me something on my computer. And what's Adam Leader saying? He's saying massive feedback, like an echo chamber. Some people do say I live in an echo chamber. But it was you, right? Fair enough. What's the cat doing as soon as I start? She's banging and clattering in the kitchen. Hey, where were we? Conan the Barbarian. Yes, 1982, starring him, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Sandal Bergman, and some other people. James Earl Jones, Max von Sydow, and loads of other people you've never heard of. Written and directed by John Milius, also written by Oliver Stone. We'll get into that as we watch the film. We're not going to watch the film. We're going to go through it as usual in a series of stills. I'll get into trouble. I might play the odd little clip, but I've probably forgotten a lot about it. As I said, I've watched it today. I don't take notes because I'm bone idle. Plus, I take all the wrong notes anyway. I was never good at note taking, even at school. They said, get your books out, write notes. And I always wrote the wrong things. So I don't bother now. What are you up to? She's been naughty as that cat, I tell you. She's been out all day as my cat. And then as soon, it was like 1 minute before, I was supposed to start at 9 o'clock. She bloody wanted to come in, didn't she? Everything's a pain. Never mind looking at me. She's looking at me. Right, so let's get this film up. Let's get rid of that. And let's get this film cracking. What else was there? What other information can I tell you before we start? It had a budget of quite a lot, actually, I think, for the time. Yes, a budget of $20 million, which were quite a lot in 1982. You know, same par as I think like Star Trek 2 had a less budget than that, a lower budget, I think, or somewhere around that. So it was a decent budget, and it made its box office was, we'll say 80 million. You know, it depends. It says 68 to 79.1. Let's say 80 million. Let's be generous. So it did all right. It did okay, I suppose. Like I say, it's a very well-regarded film by a lot of people, and a lot of people say it kicked off the sword and sorcery genre. But it didn't really. It kind of did, because I think it was one of the early ones that came out in 1982. But there'd been films before that, like Hawk the Slayer and others. I don't know about Lady Hawk after. I know Hawk the Slayer were early, because I think that was 1980, I think. But in 1982 were a big year for sword and sorcery films. There were this, and then I think a few weeks later we got The Sword and the Sorcerer, which has a lot of similarities to this, but I think it's better. And then a few months later we had The Beastmaster. That's two films in 1982 that I think were better than this one. But anyway, never mind. We'll get into the film. Right, let me make my film full screen. If I can remember the buttons this week, it'll all go wrong again. It will. Right, I'll make myself titchy, and off we jolly well go. Have I muted it? I bet I haven't. Oh, just before we start. So I bloody haven't muted it. I'm bloody useless. There we go. Right, off we go. Pause. Pick it up as I am. Right, off we go. Here it is, the 20th Century Fox logo. I've forgotten the bloody buttons already. It's either shift and right or control and right, and I can't remember which one. We'll try them both. That hasn't done anything, has it? Try that one. That hasn't done anything either. You know why? Because I'm on the wrong screen. I'm being useless. It's not going well, is this, is it? Right, let's try again. Off we go. Right, there you go. 20th Century Fox. I think that's a new. That won't have been that originally. Well, it wasn't that originally. I've watched it today on Disney Plus. It's on Disney Plus in the UK. It's Conan the Barbarian. I've not got it on DVD. I've acquired this copy, you know, from a fella down the road. But this is obviously a remastered version, because the one on Disney Plus had the old-fashioned 20th Century Fox logo. You know, like you used to see at the beginning of Star Wars. You know, old films. Not this CG one. Anyway. Right, off we go. So off we go. There you go. Dino the Horrendous presents. And a great score, by the way. A great score by Basil Polidouris, which were kind of ripped off by Jerry Goldsmith for Total Recall. If you listen to them, they're very similar. But anyway, that's by the by. There you go. Arnold Schwarzenegger, James Earl Jones. I think that's all you get. Just them two. Then we get the title, I think. Maybe, you know, we just get blackness. Maybe we just get an intro bit. I can't remember. Oh, for God's sake, just play the bloody thing. Naughty is that cat. I think we might be having a. There we go. We're having an intro, a voiceover, telling us all about, you know, the age of whatever, and Conan and all that. So there we go. There we go. Conan the Barbarian. There we go. And a sword is being forged. They live in mud huts, but they're really good at making swords. There you go. Basil Polidouris. I think this is supposed to be Conan's father making this sword. Played by somebody who I can't remember his name. Hang on. When I see him, I'll remember. When I see him. There we are. It's all red and hot, look, and then he plunges it into. Oh no, he's doing that. He plunged it into snow to cool it down, because you know, because they're hard and they're tough. This is Conan's mother. She's binding up the handle. I don't know if any of this is any good. I suppose Shadiversity would know all about this. But anyway, his mother is played by, she's down here somewhere, Conan's mother, Nadiuska. I have no idea who she is. But there she is. She sounds Eastern European, doesn't she? But then I suppose she looks it. Kind of got dead eyes, but never mind. You can't have everything. And his dad is played by William Smith. That's it, William Smith. His dad is played by William Smith, who I know has been in lots of stuff, but I kind of remember him having a brilliant fist fight with Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood's Philo Beddoe in Any Which Way You Can, which was a cool film. Anyway, off we go. Let's continue. I've done the wrong thing again. There we go. I mean, I've got two screens, and I still can't do between them. You know, how do these people? You see some YouTubers that have got like 5 screens all around them. It's like bloody The Matrix or something, like being in the architect's room. I can just about manage 2. Anyway, there we go. Here's the sword forged, and spoilers, it breaks later on. So it didn't make it that well, did it? But never mind. There we go. But then with that being told about, you know, it's the age of wonder. I don't know. I can't remember, but you know, it's a tough world, etc. Then we get this little Conan's dad. Has he got a name? I don't know. I'm not really into Conan, you see. I've not read the books. I didn't read the comics, and I don't like the films. So I watched the Jason Momoa one recently. You know what? I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it was good either. Anyway, they're having a little chat. Conan's dad and young Conan. In front of a blue screen, obviously, with all clouds in the background. I suppose that's supposed to make it, I don't know, you know, give it meaning, give it depth of what he's saying. Anyway, but he's saying wise things to him. So there we go. Let's get past that bit. And then the baddies are on the way. The music really doesn't fit when these baddies arrive. It's all that jolly horse riding music. Why don't they play some, you know, baddie music? But they don't. So all these baddies arrive, and they start ransacking the village and killing people and burning things and all that. Conan runs home. I think that's supposed to be a scout, in it, ahead of the main force, and here they come. This essentially I don't know, like it's supposed to be like a Bronze Age village or something. I don't know, but I'm guessing this is supposed to be somewhere in Russia. I'm guessing because they keep talking about the steppes, and there's lots of, like, you know, East Asian people, you know, maybe from Mongolia, etc. That side, China, and then you've got other, like, you know, bushy bearded, you know, Caucasians. And James Earl Jones on this side, on the other side. So I'm guessing it's supposed to be somewhere in that area, mid Russia, the Caspian Sea area. I don't know. I'm just waffling. So anyway, so here they come, the baddies. Right, start hacking and slashing and burning and killing, and the villagers put up a fight, but not a very good one. Conan's mother's hiding behind a tree. More hacking and slashing. By the way, although there's lots of action in this film, I found it boring. I'm sorry. Sorry, Adam. I know you like this film, but you know, I found it quite boring. And although I do appreciate the scale of the film at times, and you know, the what they're trying to do, the oh god, I had it all worked out in my head what I was going to say earlier on, and it's gone. And what they were trying to achieve, I don't think they did. And a lot of the things, we'll see in a minute. I think a lot of the things I was watching it, I was thinking, I bet that read better in the script than it's ended up on screen. But anyway. So anyway, off they go. Conan's dad probably gets his new sword. There's a chap being got by arrows, and they're burning things down. got some weird helmets in this film, and they don't look very good either, to be honest. I mean, they don't even look like they're made of metal, look like plastic, but anyway. I'm sure they are metal. Conan and his mother just sit there and they watch his dad get killed. His dad's going to have a bit of a fight here. And then he gets an axe in the back in a moment. They take him out. Oh, he missed it. He got an axe in the back, and then they set the dogs on him. So all these dogs come and start tearing him apart as Conan and his mother watch. This is a bit where I thought, I bet that read better on, in the script than they've done it on screen, because it's like, a bit on screen. For me, anyway. For me. So anyway, so that's the village, kind of, subdued. And is that all that's left? Maybe, I don't know. There's one or two others left. Conan and his mother, there he's on his knees. She's got a sword, and I see this fella with his stupid helmet. It looks like it's made out of foam, like a cosplayer's helmet. But I don't think they had them back in 1982, did they? Not that sort of foam, anyway. Or maybe they did, I don't know. Oh, there you go. Takes his. They're into bangs. The baddies, they have bangs for some reason in this film. So she prepares herself. She'd been a good Red Sonja, wouldn't she? Probably. But he don't kill her. He waits for James Earl Jones to arrive. This other fellow with some bangs here. Just kind of reminds me of Bruce Dickinson. They're going to start singing "Run to the Hills" in a minute. I don't know. Anyway, James Earl Jones arrives with an equally bad helmet. And he takes his helmet off. And there we go, more bangs. A lot of bangs for your buck in this film. Sorry, I had to say it. They've got the sword, by the way. Conan's dad's sword. They've got that. That's what they're looking at. So she's ready to defend herself. And James Earl Jones stares at her. I think he's supposed to be like, hypnotic. He's like, mesmer. He can mesmerize people and make them bend to his will. And she does. She puts the sword down. Then I've probably gone too far. Then it is like he turns away. Oh, see, I've gone too far. Bloody useless. Turns away and no, never mind. Just play it. She turns away. He turns away. Does James Earl Jones. And then he brings the sword round that, Conan's dad's sword that he just made. And he chops her head off. There we go. As she's still holding Conan's hand. And another thing where we're thinking, I bet that read better in the script than they achieved on screen. There we go. So he's lost his family as Conan now. And there's James Earl Jones with blue eyes. I don't know how many times we see him in close up, but obviously he's got contact. James Earl Jones ain't got blue eyes, has he? I don't think he has. So I don't know how many times we see him in close up. But it says later on that he's Conan's dad, but I don't think he is. Because Conan's dad didn't have blue eyes. Conan's got blue eyes, but obviously his mother did. Anyway, they take all the villagers into slavery. So I think there we see the logo of the bad guys, the serpents and the sun and the moon. And they take them all into slavery. So they go drag them off across the country. And they take them to a wheel that's there for some reason. And maybe I missed it. I don't know. Let's see what it says. I don't know. Because I was watching now thinking, what is this wheel for? And there you go. We can see them working the wheel. But what is it doing? Does it say in the plot? Let's have a look on Wikipedia. Right, here we go. The children are taken into slavery and changed to work a large mill, the Wheel of Pain. There we go. That's what it's called. Still doesn't tell us what it's actually there for. Is it there for a purpose, or is it just there just for them to push it round? I don't know. Is it grinding flour? I don't know. Is it drawing water? Don't know. Like an Archimedes screw, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so the years pass and they're all working this wheel. It seems non-stop. And Conan grows up, gets more buff. I don't know who this fella is. it's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. Look at his arms. But he carries on, and there is now he's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Look, with his hair and arms, and the trench is carved into the ground, and I think he's the only one left that's worked this wheel. Anyway, this fella arrives, who kind of reminds me of that dwarf from Rings of Power, but never mind. And he takes Conan, maybe because he's the last one, I don't know, but he takes him and puts him, sits him down there. Obviously, puts a cloak on him of some sort of skin and a weird crown on his head. But he's still in chains and shackles, and he sits him looking at this fella. Time passes and it gets dark. Then we learn that he's making him fight, so it's like Gladiator. With this fella that looks a bit like Jay Lethal from the wrestling. I don't think it is him, because it's 1982. Maybe it's Jay Lethal's dad. Anyway, so they jump into this pit and they have a bit of a fight. I'm going to call him Jay Lethal. I don't know his name. Jumps onto Conan and starts biting him. So Conan fights back with his massive arms and defeats him. And there is one, and they're all going, yay! And Conan becomes a gladiator fighting for money and stuff and all that. And that's what he knows. He is the Spaniard of the film at this point. So I presume that he's moving it. I don't know if they're at the same place each time. As I said, I wasn't really paying that much attention. I was on my phone a lot of the time, and then I was fixing something on my computer halfway through the film. Actually, I wasn't fixing something because I couldn't fix it. I ended up doing something else instead, but never mind. For some reason, just as a tangent, the thing I was trying to fix, well, my Microsoft Office has stopped working. I don't know why. And I can't get it to work again, so I've had to download OpenOffice. But never mind. Anyway, that's by the by. Right, so he becomes a gladiator. There he goes, and he's beating people and getting a reputation. But he's still a slave, as you can see, still in chains, still in bondage. They're moving him around, taking him to be trained by, the greatest gladiator trainers, whatever. Because now he's Spartacus now. Doing that. I've got to be careful here now. I think we've got a bit of nudity coming up, so I'll have to be quick. Can't remember which one is the big jump. We'll try shift. So they're bringing women, as they're all watching him in his cage, and they're bringing women. We've got to get past this quick. I've done it. Way, because they took all the clothes off, and then he covered her back up, and then still had his way with her. But he's a he's a kindly forcing himself on women. There we go. So he's got his choice of no, not choice. I mean, he's giving women. So we know he's not. He has carnal knowledge, not like me, pure and innocent. And then this fella, I think, just frees him. I think he frees Conan in a moment, because Conan. This is where he does the famous. I've seen everything. Have you seen everything? Oh, you mean? Oh, yes, I've seen everything. Yes, there's Patrick Stewart. Yeah. Anyway, this bit is the scene where he does his famous quote, crush your enemies, drive them before you and hear the lamentation of their women. That bit. It's that bit. And they just like that dwarf off Rings of Power him. So anyway, he frees Conan now, I think. There we go. Conan's asleep outside. The fella just comes along and just frees him and off he goes. I have no idea why. I don't know why. Maybe it's said in the film, but as I said, I wasn't really paying attention. Does it say on Wikipedia? Let's have a look. Conan is freed. Hang on. Winning countless fights and receiving training and education in the East, Conan is freed unarmed. Oh, that's it. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. So it doesn't explain it there either. He's just freed for some reason. So off he goes, running across the the landscape, being chased by wolves and stuff, I think. German shepherds, wild dogs. We'll call them wild dogs. And then he falls into a tomb, an Atlantean tomb, apparently. I only know that because I just saw it on the Wikipedia thing. So he sees all these bodies of apparently Atlanteans. I don't think it mentions. Is it supposed to be? I forgot what it's supposed to be for. Hyboria or somewhere like that, isn't it? I can't remember. Like I say, I'm not into Conan. I don't think they mentioned that in this film, but I could be wrong. He gets a fire going, and I think he finds a sword here now. He gets this sword off this, I presume it's an Atlantean king. Is it? I forgot the name now. Qualopec. Oh, what's the other one? I'm Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider 1. Tihocan and Qualopec, weren't they? They were two of the Atlantean kings, along with Natla. That's my Atlantean history in a nutshell. Anyway, so Dr. Weir should be there in stasis still. Yeah, she should. Yeah, she should. When she went back in time. Anyway, so he's going to get this sword. It must be. I don't know how long it's been there, but it must be fine because he uses it pretty much now, I think, for the rest of the film. So it must be good Atlantean steel. And I think this is the sword that breaks his father's sword. I could be wrong. As I said, I don't pay that much attention. Oh, he's got a sword. Oh, yes, and he uses it to cast off his shackles. So it is a good, strong sword. So there we go. So it must be good Atlantean steel. Right, he's in this landscape now. He's entered. By the way, a lot of this were filmed in Spain. Some of it were filmed in Yugoslavia. Some of it were filmed at Shepperton Studios in England. But I think a lot of it were filmed in seat. There we go. My computer a minute. Hopefully there didn't mean a pause or a jump or whatever, but my computer threw a Benny then. I'll repeat myself. This landscape may be familiar because I think I might be wrong, but I think this is, if you're a big Ray Harryhausen fan, I think this is where parts of Valley of Guanji were filmed, when they rode the horses in. On my back, all right. And this was part where they rode the horses into the Forbidden Valley, and they end up coming across dinosaurs and stuff, and these cowboys in Valley of Guanji, and that was filmed here as well because I looked it up. So there you go. So that's familiar scenery for me anyway. Being a Ray Harryhausen geek, I love Ray Harryhausen films. Anyway, so off he comes. He comes across this the hut of a witch. I don't think she's got a name. Let's have a look. I think it just says witch. The Witch, played by Cassandra Garver. But credited in this film as Cassandra Gaviola. But anyway, there you go. Yeah, so he comes across her, and she says, "You want to come in for tiffin?" So he does. He goes in for tiffin. There you go. She's astonishingly pretty, I must admit. Probably, these, Spanish, Italian, gorgeous women, because there are a lot of gorgeous Spanish, Italian women, aren't there? For some reason. But in he goes. Then we have another bit here where I was thinking, I bet this read better in the script than it did on film. She's just crawling around on all fours. But I bet in the script it said something like, she paces on all fours like an animal. I bet it was something like that. But she's just on all fours. And he's like, what's going on here? And they end up, getting down to business. That's what they end up doing. She's going to tell, she tells him he's going to be a king by his own hand. She tells him his story basically. So, and he's going to become a king by his own hand. And she says, "You just do one thing for me," and then they do it. They do it. And he sees everything. He sees everything as Conan. But then everything turns blue, and she kind of becomes the witch woman now. And she starts scratching him. Her fingernails go all sharp. And then he throws her through the fire. And then she turns into a cartoon. And must admit, there is some cool animation effects in this film. You know, credit where credit's due. I'm not a big fan of the film, but credit where it's due. Comes bombing out and goes out into the outside, all cackling and laughing as like a will o' the wisp type, whatever. Watches her. There he goes, watching her. Crom. He says Crom. That's his catchphrase. There she goes. Off she goes. Never see her again. I don't think we do. As I said, I was occupied for part of this film. Then he says Crom. Crom is his god, by the way. If you didn't know, Crom is Conan's god. So he says it a lot, like I was saying, God. Crom. Right, so he meets this fella. I forgot his name. Is it Sabiola or something like that? No, I'm not. I'm wrong. It's Subotai. Well, whatever. Subotai. I'll call him Sabutio from now on. Hang on. There we go. So he's been chained up and it's gone off again. There we go. Stupid bloody thing. Has he been chained up there by the witch, or has he been chained up there by other people? You know, as you know, like a pantry for the witch. I don't know. Why hasn't she made love to him? I don't know. He's just there. So Conan frees him. He says he hadn't been fed for days. So Conan frees him, and they seem to get on. There's obviously chemistry between them, and then they're eating chicken and talking about what they're going to do, etc. They talk about the god. He talks about his god Crom, and Sabutio's gods are the four winds, and you know he says my god's better than your god, etc. So off they go. They're on foot, by the way. They haven't got horses. Go through some, I presume it's Spanish countryside, you know. And then we come to this walled city. Now then, I was looking at this and I was thinking, is this a matte painting or is it a model, a forced perspective model? I don't know. I can't work it out, but it looks really cool, I must admit. So credit where credit's due again. It looks really cool. Or is it an actual place in somewhere? I don't know. But it looks cool. And then you see there's the snake tower that apparently these have been popping up. You know, the bad guys from the beginning have been spreading their religion, their snaky religion, to all these cities, city states. Because this city's got a king who we're going to meet in a bit. So in they go to the city, having a jolly good time. They talk to the local people, blah blah blah. And then, he knocks out a camel, you know, because that's funny. There we go. You're going to see it here. Look, there we go. The camel here, and it makes a noise, and he knocks it out, or he bumps into it. There we go. Poof, knocks out the camel, and down it goes. Poor thing. There you go. Down the camel goes. Probably a stunt camel, I should imagine. I hope so. But I suppose people laughed at that, I suppose, back in the day. But we'd seen it done in 1974 by Mongo, knocked out a horse, didn't he, in Blazing Saddles. So there's nothing new under the sun. Right, so they're all watching him, and I actually remember what happens next. They're looking at the tower. I think they're going to try and get in for whatever reason. I can't remember what. So this is where they meet Sandra Bergman as, I can't remember her name either. You know what I'm like with names. Valeria, there she is. Valeria. So it's where they meet her for the first time. She's a thief. She wants to break into. I think she thinks there's like jewels and stuff and treasure in the tower because it's the center of the cult, and that's where they have all their treasure and stuff. So they're going to get in there and steal everything. All right, fair enough. So they scale the side of the tower. That looks like it's made of rope, but I don't know if it is or not. Is it stone that's made to look like rope, or is it actually just big ropes wrapped around it? I have no idea. But they climb it anyway. And look down, there's like ropes going down. And so they go down the ropes, and then the inside the temple, and then there's the priests and the priestesses and the acolytes, etc., doing all their stuff. But down at the bottom is the big snake and the jewels, by the way, or a jewel at least, and lots of skeletons. It has been, the snake's dinner. We'll call it a serpent because that sounds scarier. So Sabutio and Conan go down to the bottom. Valeria goes into the temple and disguises herself as one of the priestesses or whatever they are, nuns. So there we go. There's the snake, and it's actually a really good snake. I must admit, credit where credit's due. Again, it's actually a good like animatronic snake. It's actually pretty good, I must admit. I was quite impressed with it. It's all practical, because there's no CG in these days. But it's pretty good, I must admit. And there we go. There's that jewel. I've no idea what the significance of this jewel is, but it's there in that little. It's like it's hovering in there. Is it a magic jewel? I've no idea, but it's there for the taking. So he takes it, just Conan. There's the snake, and as he takes it, its iris moves. It opens up, so it wakes up. Obviously. I've got to be careful here now, haven't I? Another young lady getting ready to expose herself, but she's going to take this snake, this jewel, and awaken the serpent in a moment. Oh, close. That was close. She's going to be sacrificed, by the way, to the snake. But we'll see how that goes as the snake wakes up. There's Valeria disguised as one of the priestesses. Just play the scene. What you want to see boobies? Is that what it is? I'm not allowed. By the way, she was looking at one of the priestesses, and we presume it didn't show it. We presume that she just grabbed her and beat her up and stole her clothes, but it didn't show that. There she is. She's going to go over the edge, but not yet, because he's got to do something with his snake now. Oh, as they're just going out, he sees that symbol, and he realizes it's the bad guys that killed his family. So this gives him activates his vengeance chip, and so he's got to deal with that. But then the snake comes up, and actually, let's say it's pretty good animatronic snake for 1982. Sorry, Wingrace, just talking to me. Hang on, let's have a look. Wonder if Children of the Gods took inspiration from this scene. I don't know. They want a big snake in that though. Well, the snake heads, want the Jafar, but I don't know. Anyway, probably not. Or maybe it did. I don't know. Yes or no? Answers on a postcard. Anyway, so he's fighting this snake. It grabs hold of him. She's still waiting to jump off. Let me see the what's going on down below. She's up there. Conan's getting tangled. That's like gone too far there, haven't I? Too far. Yes. So as Conan's getting wrapped up in the snake's coils, he's already stabbed it. As you see the pointing here. He's got his sword through the snake's head, but it's still, got hold of him. So Sabutio, I know it's not his name, but I'm calling him that, fires several arrows into its head, as you can see there. And that seems to finish it off. And Conan unravels himself and then chops off the snake's head in a moment, as we'll see. She's getting ready to go. I think that's one of the chaps that were in front of that were there when Conan's mother had a head chopped off. I think that's one of them. Could be wrong. All those years ago. By the way, I don't know how many years I've supposed to. Go on. That were close. I don't know how many years I'm supposed to have passed. I don't think it's said. I think it's just several. Because how old was it? It was probably about 12, wasn't it? Something like that. And then now is it supposed to be about 20? Or shall we say 10 years? Sounds a nice round figure, isn't it? We'll say 10 years. has passed, maybe longer, don't know. Anyway, she jumps off. He's chopped off the snake's head as Conan. She jumps off. They expect to hear I suppose, the noise of the snake eating her. It's like the Rancor pit, isn't it, in Return of the Jedi, but with a snake. But we just hear her scream because the snake's dead and it's had its head chopped off. So all hell breaks loose. All the priestesses bugger off, and all these fellas get the daggers out. But Conan and Sabutio are climbing up the ropes, getting out of there. But what's her face? Valeria. She's got to make her own way out, which she does because she's clever, and she wraps this fella in a rope and boots him off and uses him as a counterweight, and to make her, as he goes down, she goes up. So they all get out and they jump into this pool, which I was thinking, I hope that's deeper than it looks. But they jump off into this pool of water, and they must be okay. It must be deeper than it looks, and everything's fine. And they're celebrating later in a seedy, tavern where they're all having mead, probably, or some sort of beer, and having a good old time there. There's a pig ready to be chopped up and eaten, and all that stuff. And they've got the wrist stuff with studs in, so it's a very heavy metal scene, isn't it? It's all like that. I've got my Iron Maiden t-shirt on this appropriately. Anyway, she's eyeing up the jewels that Conan had taken, and he gives her the big red, the magical one. Apparently, he gives her that one. There, she extends her hand, and he stays her hand, but then gives her the biggest jewel. This one, I presume, this is the red one that the snake were guarding. I don't know where they got all these others. And he gives her that one. Somehow her hand turns over. He's got it, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. If Arnold Schwarzenegger's holding your hand down, your hand's held down, but somehow it flips over. And in a minute, he gives her the big red jewel anyway. And then we see there's chemistry between them, and so there's going to be stuff going on, more gratuitous nudity, which is cool because it's 1982. And so they get down to it again. I've got to be quick here now. Got to be careful. So there we go. We're at it again. Worse than Captain Kirk. So there we go. So now Valeria and Conan love each other. They are now madly in love. They're hugging, which shows that they love each other. A crow watches. That's an omen of death. And there we go. He's putting the big jewel around her neck, displaying it for all to see. The big magic jewel that was, revered by the city ruling snake people. There you go. The buying up armor and stuff like that. They're basically throwing the money around, aren't they? So they get found out. Basically, they get found out and taken before the king. And he's drunk. He's passed out into his gruel. Then the soldiers arrive and they take them before the king, King Osric, played by Max von Sydow, who you may recognise as Emperor Ming or The Exorcist, or who else, or in David Lynch's Dune. He's been in loads of stuff, hasn't he? Then obviously Force Awakens. But here he is, King Osric. My nephew used to be in a band called Osric Tentacles. I don't know if that's related to this. I don't know. But anyway, he's a good guitarist, is my nephew. Anyway, so they bring before King Osric, who I thought was Santa Claus for a minute. Because he's got all this Santa Claus, like a red hat and fur and stuff. But anyway. And so they think they're in trouble. But then he calls them all sorts of names. And then he says, I salute you. And then we find out he wants them to go and find his daughter, because his daughter was taken by. We learn about that the snake cult is putting their towers and taking over cities and stuff like that. And they've taken his daughter. off to James Earl Jones. I forgot the name of his character. Something Doom, innit? Thulsa Doom. They've taken his daughter off to be with her. So he wants to hire them to go and retrieve his daughter. So they said, fair enough, that's what we'll do. Except Valeria and Sabutio don't want to go with him, we find in a moment. Anyways, he gives them loads of jewels, loads of rubies or whatever they look like, rubies. So they don't want to go with him. He probably told us why, but as I said, I wasn't really paying much attention. There, all the jewels he's given them. Anyway, she tells him that she don't want to go, and Sabutio don't want to go either. Sorry, I'm going to have to look up his name again. Subotai, yeah. Well, I'm close. I'm close with Sabutio. But she don't want to go, so he goes by himself. He sets off by himself. I don't know why they don't want to go, but as I said, I wasn't really paying attention. Does it say in the Wikipedia? Let's have a look. Where are we? Subotai and Valeria refused to take up the quest. Oh, okay. Conan, however, motivated by his hatred for Doom and his desire for vengeance, sets off alone to the villain's temple of Set. So that's a bit of an Egyptian influence there. Of course, obviously, Set's an Egyptian deity, isn't it? Anyway, so she wakes up in the morning and he's sodded off. There you go. Off he goes with his new armor. He got a horse now. Yay! There it is looking. I think I've got this, and it's obviously this way because I'm looking with one eye. So off he goes. Here he finds some acolytes of some sort. They're heading for the temple of Set. So he follows them. There we go, and there you go. He arrives here at some weird megalithic place. Is this an actual place, or was it made for the film? I have no idea. Hello, Scottish geek guy, Jimmy. How you doing? What's he saying? Barbarian is great, destroyer less so. Well, no, because I'm here saying that Conan the Barbarian is not very good. Although I'm giving it its dues, there are some good bits in it. Hey. And let's not speak of the clean-shaven Jason Momoa remake, which I just did not a few minutes ago. I said I saw that not so long since, and I thought it was okay. So I didn't think it was brilliant, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't as bad as everybody makes it out to be. Anyway, I arrived at this place, this megalithic site. But what happens here? I can't remember. Is he attacked by somebody? No, he ain't. I can't actually see. Oh, aye, yes, he meets this fella. I've got to look this up now, aren't I? Oh, it's just called The Wizard, played by Mako, who's been in lots of films, but don't ask me. Don't ask me what he's been in. But he ends up tagging along. With Conan and offering pearls of wisdom and stuff like that, and saving his life more than once. So he ends up being a good friend. So he's eating more chicken off the bone. There we go, glugging whatever. Right, so they set off. They get to the temple of Set, and Conan is eschewed his armor now. He's got flowers. Why? Because they said it had some flowers, and the wizard said, "What are you doing with the flowers? And where are you taking those? Who are those for?" And he says, "They're for a girl." So off he goes. But they're different colour. I'm sure they were purple flowers when he set off, and now they're white. Could be wrong. And he's on the camel now. He's left his horse. He's on the camel. Is it the same camel he knocked out earlier? Don't know. Could be. Maybe they bonded afterwards. Maybe he said, "I'm sorry for knocking you out," and they became friends. Right, so he waits now. He's got to wait now for the priests to arrive at the temple, along with all the other acolytes. Kind of reminds me a little bit of a short story I wrote many moons ago called The Pilgrimage. It's on my website somewhere, the mercuryrapids.co.uk website, called The Pilgrimage, about, but that was in Egypt. Well, this could be in Egypt, but about people going on a pilgrimage to see, you know, the, I forgot what they called it. Well, I forgot what I called it in the story now. But it turned out they went to see the aliens, basically, that had a, it was like Stargate. It was like a rip-off of Stargate, sort of, but without the Stargate in it. Where it was like a spaceship hovering over the pyramids, sort of thing. Anyway, that's by the way. It kind of reminds me of this. But this obviously came first. Yes, maybe he put it in the camel clutch. Yeah. Right, the priests arrive. So everybody's ready. Conan befriends this priest for some reason, and he says, "I want to talk to you over here where nobody will see us." And I thought, well, we know what's going to happen now, don't we? So they go around, nobody can see him, and then Conan leathers him and takes his clothes so he can infiltrate the temple. And so he goes in and he gets stopped, and I think he just shows his green snaky thing that he'd stolen. That's his ID card. That's his multi-pass. That gets him in. So in he goes. That's a cool. That's it. I admire the ambition of this film and the scale of it. That's obviously big sets, lots of extras. They're going for it. That's it. Hang on, where was it? Let's go back again. Lots of. There's another bit. There we go. As this pans, we see all these people. Mouse pointer. We see all these people, and as it pans, we see them going off into the distance. Look, so you know they've put the work in, haven't they? Anyway, and even more, they mostly built this, haven't they? So it's all very well done. Anyway, in he goes. But I don't think he lasts long. Someone gets caught. Here we go. These are the two that were there, weren't they, when his mother had her head chopped off? Bruce Dickinson and I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Pat Roach, you know, the German off Raiders of the Lost Ark. It kind of reminds me of him, you know, if he had hair, but it isn't Pat Roach. I don't know. Let's have a look at the cast list. I don't know. There's one called Rexor, which I think might be that one, but I could be wrong. The one on the right. And the other one, I don't know. I don't know what the other one. No, I don't know. Because they haven't got names, but only one's got is Rexor, which I think might be the one on the right, but I could be wrong. But the one on the left doesn't appear in on IMDb, not with a picture anyway. So it don't matter. So it's not Bruce Dickinson anyway. Anyway, where were we? So they're there. So that probably triggers Conan a bit. Hey, stop playing. Stop playing, you bloody thing. So there we go. So I think Conan quickly gets captured here, if I'm remembering correctly. Your cat's up to no good upstairs. She's banging about. So Conan, come on, Conan, show what you're doing. Oh, this is Osric's daughter, I think, the princess. Who she doesn't have a name. She's called the princess. She's off to save the princess. By the way, I did a video earlier today. I know this is live and stuff, but I did a video earlier today about you know, Lucasfilm and all this trouble that they're in, and we're on about that they should go back to using Joseph Campbell's, you know, books and stuff as a basis for the stories. And this, I must admit, this is very, you know, hero with 1,000 faces, hero's journey. There's a lot of that in this. You know, he does go through that. There's Conan. Anyway, so there she is with snakes on her arms. And she wants to be there apparently. There we go. There we see Thulsa Doom James Earl Jones. And I think that they must recognise Conan or something because they just grab him, and it's because he's not bowing down; he's looking up at him. So they get him, and she's there with the snakes round. I'm sure other things happened, but as I said, I wasn't really paying a great deal of attention. Anyway, they've got him there, and they bring him before they're beating him up. Bit of what's that? Jim Caviezel as Jesus, that one. Passion of the Christ, has gone through a bit of that. They've given him a good hiding. So they take him away, put him in the dung. Well, don't they crucify him now, don't they? So he does, yeah. He's like Jesus. They crucify him. Or as I was reminded of, this kind of reminded me a bit of Sword and the Sorcerer, which came out a few weeks after this, because they crucified Prince Talon in that, didn't they? Yeah. To be honest, I don't know if they know if it's Conan, the same kid that were there, all those years ago. I don't know. I can't remember. But it says all this stuff. Showing, I think it's showing Doom's power over the acolytes. I think one had killed themselves at his command. That he has total control. Anyway, so there we go. They've crucified him. Nailed him to this tree, this old tree in the middle of nowhere. There he is, and now the vultures are waiting for him to die. But of course he doesn't, because he's Conan. But they're having a peck at him. Look, there we go. Stunt vultures, no doubt. I don't know what's going on there. I think he maybe killed that one. I think he probably bit its throat out, probably. Anyway, that's given him a bit of nutrition. So his passage of time happens, and there we go. He gets rescued by, there we go, Subotai and Valeria and the wizard. But why didn't they give him a name? I don't know. He doesn't do very much wizardy stuff. A little bit, but nothing super magical. But Conan's near to death. So they decide to start drawing all over him. There we go. Start drawing all and writing, runic symbols of some sort. Probably magic. He's a wizard after all. So they do all this, and they leave him suspended on these ropes. And the wizard says, they will come for him, and he may go with them or whatever. It's on about these cartoon characters we've seen a bit. But Valeria says, if he dies, you die. So they wait now, and then they come for him to the spirit people. I suppose they are. I don't know. To take him into the here they come. Look, to take him into the afterlife or whatever. So she goes and fights them off with Valeria. And, so they don't take him. There we go. So it's pretty good animation. Again, credit where credit's due. It's not bad. It's not bad. Make sure we're still going. Yeah, got an excellent connection. Any messages on Rumble? We've got one, but it's just a link. So that's no good, really, is it? It's just a link. But never mind. No messages on Twitch. Right, off we go. Right. So basically, obviously he doesn't die because we're only halfway through the bloody film. But they don't take him. They don't take his soul or whatever they were going to do. So he's fine. He's fine. And of course, she loves him, so she's brought the power of her love has brought him back from the brink. Here we go. There we go. Open his eyes. Probably says Crom. And then we see the bit that's from my new intro. Hang on. Hang on. This bit, isn't it? Hang on, where is it? Where have I put it? There we go. So that's this bit, as you can see. where he's getting his strength back, and he's not to say he's been through the mill. He ain't got very many scars. Maybe it's the wizard's magic. There he's with his Atlantean sword. Oh, hang on, put my comments back on. There we go. Right, so they've got to work out what to do next. They've got to go and get the princess, haven't they? So they're going to help him now get the princess from Doom. So off they go. And they go into they go getting ready to putting their war paint on. Looks like in Predator, doesn't he, when he puts his stuff on? Giving it all that. Anyway, I don't know. I can't remember this bit, to be honest. I was probably occupied at this part trying to fix my Microsoft Office. So they go into this cave, I would imagine, and there we go. All sorts of things going on. Is it some sort of foundry, perchance? I don't know. Or is it like a torture chamber? I don't know. There seems to be bodies about, don't there? I've no idea. Maybe it's some sort of torture chamber. As I said, I wasn't paying a great deal of attention. I was listening to it, but I just wasn't watching it. So they sneak in here. Through their war paint, camouflaging them well. So they get round. I do actually remember that, they don't all get out of this alive. Spoilers. They go to work the way round. A similar scene, actually, just reminds me, there's a scene like this in Sword and the Sorcerer, where Prince Talon comes through a window and lands in a harem, a harem, or whatever you call them. That's a good bit. But, there's a leopard. They've got to work out what they're doing. I don't know what's going on, to be honest. I say everybody's having a good old time. And there's Doom watching over with the princess, watching over his subjects with his blue eyes. I presume that contact lenses. They've got to be honest. James Earl Jones ain't got blue eyes, has he? He's got snake eyes now. Bloody Nora. Crikey Moses. I missed that. Anyway, what's happening here now? That looks like, is that a prosthetic head? I'm going to play this bit and see what happens. Oh. I'm going to go back to it. Want to see what happens with that face, because that didn't look real, did it? Have I missed it? Have I gone too far? Probably haven't I? Look. Look. Pause it. You're like 8 seconds, aren't you? Come on. Oh, there's no boobage showing, by the way, and other things in that scene. Oh yes, it is. It's moving. His face is, a bit of, American Werewolf in London type stuff going on. Let's have a look. Is that it though? Is that all it does? Can I do some more? Well, let's see what happens. We'll skip on a bit. Oh, some more's going to happen. His face is stretching out. Is it going to turn into like a snake's head or something? Why is this happening? I don't know. I don't know why this is happening. But his face is changing for some reason. Anyway. So, is he turning into a snake, maybe? Is he? Yes, he is. He's turning into a snake. See, I missed this bit. Bloody Microsoft Office. So there you go. That was quite good, actually, I must admit. I'm quite impressed with that. Anyway, so in they come. This is their chance to kill Doom, who has now turned into a snake. There he is. What is it with Dino De Laurentiis and snakes? He had a bloody big snake in King Kong, didn't he? The 1976 one. He must like snakes. I'm trying to think if there was a snake in Flash Gordon. Probably. Oh, not. All right, so they're working their way around the I'll call it an orgy. Not many guards about, is there? But never mind. Sure, it all goes wrong because I think she dies. To be honest, spoilers. But anyway, they're fighting people now. All this action going on. blood spraying, etc. He's escaping, look, through his hole, so to speak. They're the princess. That's what they've come for, the princess, but she doesn't want to go with them, I don't think. Doesn't want to go, so she's resisting. And Bruce Dickinson's arriving, you know, the 80s rock band is arriving. Here they are, look. Manowar. We'll call them Manowar from now on. All men play on 10. Here they come. Warriors of the world. It all goes wrong now for Conan. To fight the way out now. I don't know what's happened to the princess. Has she run off? I don't know. I don't know if she's. I don't think she's with them. It's all collapsing, and basically fight the way out now through all the guards. And, I think she gets mortally wounded in a minute. Cat bombing past, if you heard that, but they get out. By the way, we saw he's changed back into human form now. Look, so he can be part of Manowar. And here we go. Here we go. This is he's going to have his snake arrow. Are you ready for this? I laughed. Not at this bit. We see it again later on. But is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? Come on, getting his bow out. Look. Is it his bow? I don't know. Come on, do it, man. Get your snake out and straighten your snake. On. He hasn't done it, has he? Back again. Let's go back again. The skip is just that bit too much. Here we go. He's got his snake. You can see there. Look, he's straightened out his snake. He's going to fire it like an arrow. As you can see, there we go. It's more of a cartoon, isn't it? You can get straighten your snake out. So he's going to fire this snake at Valeria and mortally wounds her. Probably because of the snake poison, I should imagine. Or venom, sorry. The snake's venom. So she gets got, so she's going to die. And she does die. There we go. He pulls out the snake. There's Conan, sorry. But she dies and they embrace, because remember, they were in love. But she passes away. There's Valeria. So Conan's really angry now. So he's putting her on a pyre and they're going to burn her. But the wizard says that'll never burn up there. So Sabutio takes the torch anyway. Looks to be burning to me. But spoilers, this is not the last we see of Valeria. What the? So anyway, so there she's burning away. She must be a Jedi, do you reckon? Anne is even more empowered to deal with Judge Doom. I know, I'm just calling him that. I was having a think. There you go. That's thinking Conan. Who's that behind him? Oh, it's the princess, isn't it? Is it? I don't know. Did they have the prince? Did they catch the prince? They must have got her then. And they've chained her up there so she didn't run off. As I said, I really wasn't paying a lot of attention. So they did get the princess and they've chained her up so she doesn't go running back to Doom because she's, mesmerized by him. She's under his spell. So then we're getting near the end now, by the way. I hope. So then some baddies come in a moment and attack them. Here they come in a moment. By the way, they're setting traps. This is another predator thing. He's setting his traps and stuff, is Conan. Sabutio's getting ready with his bows and arrows. Even the wizard gears up. Here they come on horseback. The king's men approacheth. So they're ready for a battle in the megalithic stones. So here we go. and it's all very, you think it'd be exciting, wouldn't you? But it isn't. It's very, I don't know, low power. There's no energy to it. There isn't. Like I say, he's just watching and he's saying, saying his stuff, whatever. I'm sure that was inspiring, whatever he just said. But they're just like, riding the horses about, and he gets somebody there. Press the wrong button again. And basically they deal with them. Oh, and they all fall through these. They put up all these spikes that are there for no reason because they just roll through them and they all just break. So they were no good. And they deal with the rest of them. There we go: lances and spears and bows and arrows and swords, etc. They soon deal with Doom's men. One of them were going for the princess, but Sabutio's arrows deal with him. Sabutio heads, in, and here's Conan. He's going to fight one of Man of War. I'm going to call him Pat Roach, even though he's not Pat Roach. He's going to deal with him. We're just about to get got there, wasn't it? But there we go. The wizard saves his life. Here's another member of Man of War with his big hammer. Maybe it's Angus McSix. But there you go. He walks into one of the traps. He gets speared because he thought he saw a helmet and he thought it were Conan, so he smashed it with his big hammer. But it released a trap and he got spiked, a bit like a Rambo trap that we saw in First Blood. There he is impaled, so he's no more. But here comes Doom now. They're just finishing off the last few. Here we go. Him, Pat Roach. He beats him. This is where this sword gets brought. His dad's sword. He's got his dad's sword, I think. He breaks it. Or is it in a minute when he's fighting? No, it's here. Look, that's his dad's sword. You remember whatever that is. That's the work that he did on it. Look, there we go. Broken it. Look, it wasn't a very good sword. What do you want, Aid?
I was waiting for you to answer me.
Well, why don't you just come and get whatever you're going to get, and then I'll just ignore you instead of you just hovering there. Okay, whatever.
I'm going to do a drop.
Well, I can't. I'm doing this now, aren't I? But so we'll have to wait until I've finished.
Well, hurry up, please.
Live. Anyway, where were we? So anyway, Conan deals with him. There we go. Lots of blood. So he's dead. Doom's run off on his horse, or rode off on his horse. The princess is saying, "Come back, father." He thinks he's everybody's father. So he tells them all anyway. All right, he's going to fire another. Might just be a bow, an arrow. I don't know. It could be another snake. I can't remember. But he fires. It's another snake. He fires it at her. So we're going to kill her, but Sabutio saves her with his shield. He intercepts it. It's failed, and he just rides off because he's a coward. So Conan is going to go after him now with his father's broken sword and his Atlantean blade. He's going to go and deal with Doom. So Doom's back at the Temple of Set. Night has fallen. There's all his acolytes holding torches. As I said, it's very impressive, I must admit. Credit where credit's due. Anyway, so Conan arrives. Here he goes, sneaking in. There's the princess. She obviously has a change of heart at some point. I don't know when, but she does. That's probably when he was going to kill her. Well, that's it. But she's gone. She's snuck in with them, hasn't she? Of course. So in Conan goes. There's Doom. I forgot to put his contact lenses in there. It looks like it, doesn't it? Unless he's just got big irises because it's dark. I think they forgot. There There's Conan looking from the shadows, so he's going to deal with Doom now. Here he goes, and Doom tries to mesmerize him and bring him about to his will. Calls him, says, I am your father," which is kind of what he said 2 years earlier in Empire Strikes Back, wasn't it? He's just realised there that, hang on, I've said this line before. But there he is. Oh no, he's got his blue contact lenses in there, hasn't he? I think they said there, "I am your father," and Conan's like almost turn. You think, is he going to turn to the dark side? But no, he gets him. There we go. Hang on. He slashes him and all that, and there's blood spraying, and then he gets him like there. It's very brutal, actually. I must admit, it's quite brutal. And he grabs hold of his head here, look, and he basically chops his head off. So he gets him on one side, then on the other. This is with his father's blade, by the way, the broken blade, I do believe. And then chops his head off and sends his body down. There you go. Chops his head, holding up his head, and I think his body's fallen down down the steps or whatever. And then he throws the head down as well, down to the acolytes, and there it goes. And they disperse. Conan needs to recite the U.S. Constitution, says. Hang on, where are we? Says Wingrace. Does he? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure that's really funny, but I don't know. Where were we? So anyway, so he's beaten Dune. So anyway, the acolytes disperse. The cult of Doom is no more because he's dead. His spell is broken. Sorry. All right, I see. Oh, we were talking about that, weren't we? That was a joke about when Kirk did it in TOS. Oh yes, that what Omega Glory or something. Is that what you said it was that, didn't you? That episode when they were on about they were always doing that sort of thing in Star Trek, weren't they? The U.S. Constitution and like Vietnam analogies. Anyway, so the cult disbands pretty quickly. They all put out their torches into this pool. I presume that's symbolic. Off they go. You think they need them? It's middle of the night. They can't see, can they? What you want, Aid?
I'm waiting. That's all.
What are you waiting for?
I'm free to finish your show.
Well, I might be a while yet, and you'll be stood there for ages. Well, just sit down if you want to wait.
I wonder what Cat's dropped.
Well, you'll have to wait, won't it, till I finish this? So he's having a think now. He's thinking Conan now. He's all alone now. The princess is there. So they take her back. There you go. She's obviously free from Doom spell because he's dead. Take her back to Osric. Why? He burns down the temple. I nearly forgot about that. There it goes. Burns down the temple and off they go. By the way, I'd missed a bit. I've just remembered. See if I can find it again. I said she returned, didn't I? Did Valeria while they were fighting? I think it was one of Man of War, the one that had his dad's sword. While they were fighting him, it looked as though Conan were going to lose, but then she appeared in like silver armor and stuff and deflected, Man of War's blade or axe or whatever it was, and punched him, and then encouraged Conan to rise up, and then disappeared again. So I don't know what that were all about. Was she like some spiritual being? Obviously, yes, but I forgot about that. Anyway, so he's burning down the temple. There's the princess. So they take her back to King Osric. Here he is taking her back. What happened to others? What happened to Wizard and Sabutio? Did it show us? If it did, I missed it. And then we see the classic image of old King Conan on his throne, from a later adventure. Which they never got around to doing, did they? He keeps saying he wants to do it, doesn't it? And then we get the write up. Let's move that up a bit. Oh, did Conan return the wayward daughter of King Osric to her home, and having no further concern, he and his companions, oh, there we go, sought adventure in the west. Gondor. Many wars and feuds did Conan fight. Honor and fear were heaped upon his name, and in time he became the king by his own hand, as the witch foresaw. And this story shall also be told, but not in the next film, I don't think. I've never actually seen Conan the Destroyer. Because I didn't like this one. But there we go. And that's the end of the film. And then we cut to credits. There we go. There we go. That's the end of Conan the Barbarian. I find it a bit boring, to be honest. As I say movies that everybody loves that I hate, but I don't really hate them. I don't really hate this. I just don't like it very much. I find it a bit boring, and I get distracted. It doesn't grip me. As I said, I think I'll get rid of that. I make myself big again. As I said, I think Sword and the Sorcerer and Beastmaster are both better films than this. They came out the same year. And I think they're better sword and sorcery films, Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger's got his charisma and stuff, hasn't he? And there are good parts in it. It's not a total disaster, but it's not the best film ever made. Some people go on about it thinking it's the be-all and end-all of sword and sorcery films. But I don't think it is. But it's it's not crap. It's not crap. Windgrace says, I have similar movies, but I hesitate to say them because I feel like I lose my nerd card. Oh, well, who cares about labels and nerd cards? I'm not bothered. Right, so we'll leave it there. So, anyway, Conan the Barbarian. It's not very good, really. I don't think it is. But it's got a good score by Basil Polidouris that got ripped off by Jerry Goldsmith in Total Recall. That's a good thing I can say about it. And I like some of the animation effects, them spirit things came along and tried to take his soul or whatever. But, apart from that, the fight scenes weren't very good. I don't think they were. I don't think the fight scenes, they weren't very well staged. I don't know. And it had a lot of money thrown at it for the time. So you thought they'd been able to hire the best people, wouldn't you? But whatever. If you like that sort of thing, fair enough. As I said, I think Sword and Sorcerer were better. And Beastmaster. Did any others come out in 1982? I can't remember. I can't remember. Anyway, we'll leave it there. I've got to go deal with the cat now, Anna. Aidan wants me to sort cat out, doesn't he? We've got to do a drop. She's got fleas. She's been bringing fleas at house. I've had to get some spray and flea powder and got to do a drops again. I've done a drops, but we've got to do it again, Oh. Anyway, right, so, my life. So we'll leave it there. So thanks, Windgrace. Thanks, Jimmy, Scottish Geek Guy. Did anybody else join? Oh, and Adam. He's probably buggered off. But thanks for joining in. And I don't know what I'm doing next week. I haven't decided. But I will let you know through the week. My Friday night appointment with Fear this week is The Omen, the original 1976 Omen, Richard Donner film, Gregory Peck, David Warner, etc. That's what I'm doing this Friday night at 9 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Sounds about right, doesn't it? Anyway, so we'll leave it there. So, right, where we go? Where are we? So thanks anyway. Thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, I'll see thee.